Satanism or something. Kind of hardcore commie music.
Oh.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live, and no, it is not Jason Bermas, the InfoWarrior, sitting here in the InfoWars command nest, the very center of the web, according to the federal government and all their documents demonizing us. We're sitting right at the center of the web, and just a few feet away from the very center of the web, sitting very near the center of, I guess, the ultimate fortress of ultimate darkness, is Jason Bermas, fresh back from Glenn Beck and Fox News, trying to co-opt the Tea Party down in San Antonio. Right now, Hannity has co-opted everything in Atlanta. But remember, and I'm going to call Kurt Nimmo to do a story on this tomorrow. We should have done it earlier. This is important where the provenance of these came from so they're not hijacked, which is happening to a certain extent. But we can hijack two ways here. We can actually, when they get all their old folks and stuff to come to the Fox News audience, we can be there, trying to educate them. And you're going to tell folks what happened. We're also going to have Rob Jacobson pop in a little bit later with his take on what was happening, and Rob, too, who are with you today in San Antonio, an hour south of Austin, Texas, where we sit right now. But the big issue here is that you've got George Bush playing his part for the New World Order in the symphony of destruction, bringing in the tyranny, the Wall Street takeover, the torture, the wars. And now suddenly all these Fox News supporters and viewers are running around acting like they're anti-establishment and anti-Wall Street. And I just saw Sean Hannity before he went live, talking about how they're fighting the corruption of Wall Street when Rupert Murdoch and the rest of them are the engineers of it. But this shows how desperate they are. They know they don't co-opt the grassroots, not left, not right, but constitutional movement to arrest the bankers. If they don't at least let this be a steam valve, like Argentina let them beat pots and pans and have protests for months and months, but then that let off steam. It's good to get out and meet, and it's good to go out and protest and demonstrate to get media attention for your message, but not if it's hijacked by Fox News, turning it into some phony neocon version. It's good to organize and then to go to the legislatures and talk to your legislators, to go on the radio, go on TV, petition, file lawsuits, take over the government politically is the reason you go out and rally and demonstrate. That's why the big leftist foundations have always tried to fund just demonstrating, because it kind of like is a poof of smoke and then it blows away, instead of hard concrete, changing minds and being about issues and actually trying to take over our local counties, cities, and states. The state sovereignty movement, that's where the real power is at. But now we have Rick Perry, the globalist, handing over the roads of the international corporations, Bilderberg Group visitor. He's being picked. He comes out and talks about the tyranny of the federal government and all this, when really it's flawless integration from Bush to Obama. But now the Republicans are out of power, so Fox News and all them can act like, oh, we're with the people. And suddenly Fox's ratings were going down and CNN's were going up. Now Fox's are the highest they've ever been. CNN is plunging number 4 now in all the ratings. So they're going to play the part of the establishment now and become unpopular. In 4 to 8 years, then CNN will be the anti-establishment. They'll be high again. When they were fighting Bush, they're high, MSNBC. And so it goes vice versa, back and forth, Jason. So when we come back, we're going to hear from you, a report about what you witnessed, what you saw. We're going to get Rob Dew in here as well to share the mic with you, and then Rob Jacobson in this next segment. Then I'm going to go through all the important news I've got, break down what's really happening with these Tea Parties. And listen, I miss the forest for the trees very often. I'm so busy tracking and tracing bird flu and FEMA camps and New World Order and, all these things that are happening, that I kept reading headlines in the news about teabagging. And I thought, that's a funny name the media has for the Tea Party protest. And then I finally today saw a YouTube clip of Rachel Maddow saying she coined it on MSNBC. That's putting your testicles in somebody's mouth. They were saying this on mainstream news. Very, very vulgar. So this is what the George Soros feds think of people protesting out-of-control taxes is a horrible sexual slur. And it was so over the top, when I kept reading it the last few days, I didn't click. We'll be back. I'm Alex Jones. Watch
what you think, it can reach your mind. This is the beginning.
Glenn Beck would like this music. That'll be another classic on the web.
Another one, yeah.
I shouldn't act stupid because they take them all and put them together and it's ridiculous, but it only gets us more listeners, so have at me all you want. I actually bared all today. I wasn't joking. Tom Hartman, one of the biggest shows on the remnant of Air America, but he's on in L.A., Chicago, New York, on things like K-Talk, big blowtorches, millions and millions of listeners an hour. And they invited me to simulcast. They want to simulcast every few months or maybe more often with me. So we simulcasted. And, real nice guy for that hour we did. But I was already planning, I thought, because right before I went on air, I signed one check for last year's taxes, over the quarterly, and then the next quarterly. And the way the CPA I have is very conservative because I know they're looking at me and after me. We've having to come after us. And I was signing this because they've gotten rid of most of the deductions and things to where even business stuff isn't really deductible. And I was thinking, my God, this is like all the money we've got in the bank, basically, to try to run this place. I better get, And so I thought, this is really taking the shirt off my back. But people say, oh, you wimp, go ahead and don't pay it. Then that would be my whole fight. And Alex is going to prison for 5 years. I know it's criminal. I know it's illegal. I know it's a fraud. You have to pick your battles in this. And I take a lot of other risks. But I did go topless for an hour on air. And it is horrifying. And it is going to go viral on YouTube and everywhere else. You can definitely guarantee that. But I did it to illustrate the tax man. We don't normally do stunts on the air. But that was definitely one that I did do. But going back to this teabagging issue, for like 2 or 3 days, I kept reading headlines, even mainstream news going teabagging, and then criticizing people protesting. And I was like, no, Alex, don't have a dirty mind. I know that's a vulgar sexual thing. But I said, that can't be what they mean. And then I was driving home listening to XM today on the Liberal channel. They were laughing about all the disgusting, gross teabaggers, and it's saying what it was. And I was like, my God. Then I Googled it, and there was Rachel Maddow. What is she, MSNBC?
Yeah, she's right after Oldman.
I just saw it was mainstream TV, and her up there, I don't watch her a lot. I don't know what she'd know about that, though. But the point is that she just starts, on national TV, talking about how everyone who's at these protests is having testicles crammed in their mouth. And I'm sorry to have to talk like that. Everybody's laughing. This is outrageous. Shock jocks, you don't hear that stuff on this show, but shock jocks don't get away with that. People like, I'm on Man Cow tomorrow, millions of listeners. He's a right-wing shock jock. He can't get away with that. But Rachel Maddow can get up on the news. And people are like, don't complain that I'm talking about it. It's in, this is on MSNBC. Jason Bermas, your comments on that?
Well, I think it's just more, programming out there to keep you in that right-left paradigm, whereas I went to this thing today, I would ask people, well, what's the problem with the Obama administration? I get very generic answers,
He's a Muslim born on Pluto.
Exactly, and, everybody's against higher taxes, Alex. The question is, are these people going to get together and revolt? Are they going to get new legislation passed to lower their taxes? Are they going to say no?
Oh, no, instead, Obama is fixing it, and I've already read what they proposed, all of the exemptions. Right now I have a property tax exemption. Thank God. I don't even live in a very nice house, and it's, my property tax is like $5,000 a year. People in crap holes are paying $2,000 in Austin. This money doesn't grow on trees, man. People in nice houses are paying, 15, 20, 30,000 a year, and it just goes up and up and up. I can exempt that and not pay taxes on that. They're saying, bye-bye, gone. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, again, those people have their feel-good day today, Alex, and they're like, we're going to do something. Let's see if they do anything. But then on the other side, to keep you in that right-left, Democrat, Republican paradigm, they're like, oh, look at all the idiots over there. We'll call them teabaggers. Oh, it's a teabagging day,
I should have told you to ask the question of them. And I forgot because we got so busy I didn't have time to write questions for you down there for the new film we're working on. Should have asked him, okay, Obama's bad, we agree. But Bush was in support of all of this and helped engineer it as well. But see, when you watch Hannity's America Tonight or Glenn Beck, I was listening to that. It's on XM too. I'm getting addicted to this XM. I hear everything.
I love it.
And I flip around, and it's incredible that it's like none of that ever existed. And now they're the anti-establishment. They didn't lie about WMDs. They didn't triple the size of the BATF. They didn't create this giant anti-terror apparatus that I kept telling people with the Violent Radicalization Act and things we were studying in Congress. The Republicans and Democrats were always saying it was the veterans were the threat. I remember 2 years ago, mainstream news articles. In fact, somebody Google this and print it for me. I forgot to do it. I thought of it tonight when I was on Steve Quayle's show. Military training police or Homeland Security training police for roadside bombs. because every police department in America is being trained for roadside bombs. And it said because they're worried about military coming back and going crazy. Okay, so here's Ross' story actually being honest today, and we'll get into what happened with you and get the witnesses in here. And it says, conservatives outrage as DHS assessment warning of violent right-wing extremism, the most dangerous domestic terrorism threat in the United States, it says an April 7th report by the Department of Homeland Security is causing waves of indignation among conservatives for labeling right-wing extremism the most dangerous domestic terrorism threat in the United States. And that's a quote. And in there it says that it is our perception the economy's bad. It is our perception the banks are being bailed out. I mean, we're the ones that called and confirmed this report was real and really broke it Sunday. It was on a few message boards.